Hey, language enthusiasts. I would like to talk to you today about reading in your target language. One of the main problems that many learners find is where and how to read in their target language. And of course, there's also the question of levels. For beginners, it's usual that you need the supplement of vocabulary lists and translations. For more intermediate and advanced learners, they don't need that. Well, they do sometimes need some help with some of the vocabulary, but usually they find it easy to just read a book that targets their level. However, the problem with most bilingual books or books customized for language learners is that they are filled with texts similar to what you find in a textbook. It is understandable because publishers usually want to target certain topics of importance for specific levels, as well as a certain number of vocabulary words. In my opinion, these two constraints hinder the creativity of most of these texts. Publishers also think that learners don't care so much about the content itself and that they are more focused on the results they are going to get from the content. They assume that the consumption of any content made for them in adapted language would suffice to fulfill the purpose of reading in the target language. Here in summer languages, we have a different approach than this when it comes to creating literature for language learners. Yes, I call it literature because it is literature. Even if it somehow focuses on creating texts that can be read without the help of a dictionary, starting from early intermediate levels, reading is still a sophisticated activity. It involves a lot of cognitive, intellectual, and linguistic work synchronized at the same time while reading.
Stop memorizing words. Start living the language. Découvrez Dérives, de la série Les petits idiomes. 15 histoires inspirantes de moins de 1000 mots pour explorer les nuances de la langue française. Un livre conçu pour les apprenants indépendants, les francophiles et les amoureux des mots. Dérives, disponible en format papier et numérique sur summerlanguages.net.
Basically, the creation of Dérives, the book I'm talking about today, was based on the following principles. First of all, using idiomatic expressions in French as the prompts for short fiction. The stories included in that book are all under 1,000 words in length. So why did we choose idiomatic expressions and what is the importance of that? It is simply to give a cohesive, solid pillar to the whole series. Yes, it is a series called Les petits idiomes, or the small idioms. Idioms capture the imagination of readers because they use a group of words in a way that is creative in and of itself, far more than using those words individually. So if you look at one of the expressions we used in Dérives,
tomber dans les pommes.
At face value, it makes no sense to say to fall in the apples. But actually, when you read the book, you learn the origin of this expression, which is debated. It either came from the Old French, tomber dans les pommes, or from a letter sent by the great French writer Georges Sand. Secondly, these pieces are all pieces of microfiction literature written by a human being for human beings. While the level of vocabulary was taken into account, it wasn't a constraint to the creative process. And thirdly, this first collection features 15 short evocative stories. The reason it was built this way, the construction of the outline, it was made with French learners in mind. So this was to inspire a learner to read in a target language like French. They need a clear path, and that's what this book offers. Fourthly, there was also the question of genre. Would it be purely literary, or should we add other touches? For instance, we explored a superhero theme in the story entitled Ras-le-bol même pour un super-héros, a dystopian setting in La classe d'Isis, and a bit of speculative fiction in the story À sa place. Ultimately, we kept the stories at the fringe of an open audience, ensuring just the right dosage of genre elements.
Idioms aren't just phrases to memorize. They are images, cultural fragments, and unique ways of seeing the world. Discover
Dérives,
the first volume in the short fiction series,
les petits idiomes.
written specifically for intermediate and advanced French learners. This book features 15 evocative stories under 1,000 words, each followed by clear usage notes and creative writing prompts. You don't read these pages like a dictionary. You walk them like a path. Available now in ebook and paperback. Visit summerlanguages.net. Learning a language means learning to see the world differently.
Now, regarding translation, we were aware that many readers would say we need a translation, right? Actually, we are in the process of producing bilingual books later on. But why not start with les petits idiomes? Translation isn't needed here because the idiomatic expressions are already well defined and explained with examples in every chapter accompanying the stories. They are the linguistic part of the book. So look at the book, Dérives, this way. I'm reading a short story in French, and then I'm learning more about the use of the French language. But don't worry, the book is not a textbook. Well, it is a multi-purpose book. It is fiction, so you have the fun part. It is nonfiction, so you can have your dose of the language. And it has many, many creative activities. These are not grammar drills or regular, now it's your turn to speak prompts. Actually, they give you a chance to use French in a very creative way in the form of words or art. Yep, I can give you an example of one of these activities because you can even create a page of a scrapbook if you want, based on these idiomatic expressions and the stories you're going to read in that book. So the example that I'm going to read straight from the book goes as follows. Exercice d'art visuel. À l'aide de médias mixtes, réalise une entrée dans un journal d'art, un junk journal ou un scrapbook collage autour du thème « Rester dans le coup ». Okay, now let's stop talking about the theory. Let's actually put this into practice right now. We're switching entirely to French for the rest of the episode. If you're an intermediate learner, do not panic. Don't try to translate every single word in your head. Just lower your shoulders, sit back, and listen to the story. Let the context do the work. Just a quick reminder before we start, the book Dérives is available right now as an ebook and a print book. You can visit summerlanguages.net for more information, and the page dedicated for the book is called Les petits idiomes dérives. Et voilà, nous y sommes. Juste vous, moi et le français. Pour illustrer notre sujet d'aujourd'hui, je vous invite à écouter un extrait de la toute première histoire de Dérives. Elle s'intitule « Prendre son temps ». Écoutez simplement l'ambiance, les personnages et observez comment l'expression s'installe d'elle-même dans votre esprit.
Barbelieu approche de la 70aine, mais il continue de travailler 3 jours par semaine. Tout le monde l'apprécie, sa clinique est la plus proche dans tout le département, et l'hôpital le plus proche se trouve à plusieurs kilomètres de notre petite ville. Il faut dire que je travaille avec lui depuis plus de 17 ans. Barbelieu prend son temps lors de ses examens. Il procède méthodiquement, pose toutes sortes de questions et consigne des notes d'une précision presque excessive dans son carnet, toujours à la main.
Pour savoir comment cette journée va être sauvée, il faudra lire l'histoire complète. Mais vous voyez comment l'expression « prendre son temps » s'installe d'elle-même? Ce n'est pas une ligne dans un dictionnaire, c'est la lenteur d'un vieux médecin et le stress de son assistante. L'expression prend une nuance humaine, psychologique, elle devient vivante. C'est exactement cette expérience que propose Dérives. Après chaque histoire, vous trouverez des explications sur les nuances d'usage, mais surtout des invitations à écrire, parce que lire est une excellente méthode passive, mais s'approprier les mots, c'est encore mieux. On vous invite aussi à faire de l'art à travers les activités qui se trouvent dans ce livre. Donc, si vous n'êtes pas trop passionné par la rédaction et vous préférez faire des choses à la main, vous y trouverez beaucoup d'activités qui impliquent du bricolage ou des arts visuels. Ok, finalement, je voudrais vous remercier et je voudrais aussi vous rappeler que le tome 1 de la série Dérives est disponible dès maintenant en format e-book et papier. Donc un livre électronique et un livre papier. Vous pouvez trouver tous les liens directement dans les notes de cet épisode ou en visitant le site summerlanguages.net. Merci d'avoir été là, prenez soin de vous et surtout, prenez votre temps. À bientôt.